Well, we're going a little bit farther south along the coast to
Yeah, I was
Los
almost gonna say
Angeles.
out of California, but I was like, no, we're probably gonna do a California team. We're in the
Yeah,
Pacific Division.
we are. And this is the Clippers, not the Lakers.
No, thank
So the
God.
the Clippers last year, even though Kawhi didn't play at all and Paul George had limited time at the start and end of the seasons, but missed the bulk of it, they
Mhm.
still finished over 500, 42 and 40.
Yep.
They added John Wall. I also, they essentially added three other players in players that were on the team last year: Kawhi, Paul George, and Norman Powell. After the trade
Blazers
deadline,
legend Norm Powell.
exactly. But all three of them missed significant time with injury, so they kind of have a brand new team here.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is like they're my kind of boring pick to win the West. Like there's it's just I don't know if you've ever seen a team this deep again. Like if they have better health luck this year, and I think better health luck for them isn't like all their players play 70 plus games. It's more just like they avoid a catastrophic Kawhi injury. I don't like, man, if Paul George went down, like I would like, I don't even know if I'd care. Like if Kawhi stays healthy, that's like if it's Kawhi like with Robert Covington and Nick Batum and like
Yeah,
and Norm Powell, just sort of like obviously Paul George is an incredible player, like top 15 player in the NBA, incredible two-way guy. Still actually, I think is like in some ways developing his skill set. But it's just like if they've just got Kawhi and this deep roster, like that's a that's a contender. Kawhi goes away. I think we've seen like what they look like with Paul George and depth. Like they're still a competitive team because Paul George is that good. But obviously the upper end quality is Kawhi Leonard, who is the most resilient playoff scorer we've basically like seen in this era. Depending on maybe at least second to LeBron James in that regard, and the guy a guy who can still make insane defensive contributions in the context of a playoff series. Like get him healthy to the playoffs, and they're a Western Conference favorite in my mind.
yeah. Kawhi's a weird career because
So
when
weird.
he's on and when peak Kawhi is happening in the playoffs, we haven't seen many players in history who are better at just manufacturing consistent, efficient offense by himself. He doesn't need spacing. He doesn't need a playmaker. He doesn't even really need a screener. He can just kind of dribble into his man and then pull up for the 12-foot jump shot, well contested, and it goes in half the time. And you can't ask for a better archetype for a player at creating buckets than that. The playoffs, it's like just exactly what you need. But it's such a limited sample size, like we've seen star level Kawhi. We saw half a playoff series with the Spurs before it got hurt. We saw the Raptors run. We didn't really see the bubble run, not so much because of injury, but more because of other internal issues with the Clippers. And then we got another half a playoff series when he got injured against the Utah Jazz a couple of seasons ago. So, like, we know Pete Kawhi is there and has the potential to be the best player in a postseason. And
I'd
not a
even
lot of
go as
guys
far
can
to
say
say
that.
like if he's healthy, he's likely to be the best player in any playoff series against
Yeah.
any other player. Whether it's Luka Doncic. I mean, we've seen it. Whether like, well, Jokic kind of got the better of him in that. Well, not. I mean, Leonard still had a massive series until that nightmare game 7. But yeah, like I
Yeah.
would like if I was going to go into any series and have to pick who I thought was going to be the best player in that series, and Kawhi is one of the options. Like that's probably the easy choice for me at this point, especially now with like LeBron being 38 years old or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think the thing that's interesting for the Clippers, I think, is like they are going to have a weird front court. They're going to be like sort of the Raptors of the Western Conference, and that they're going to have to play a ton of minutes without a traditional big on the floor. They have the luxury of Ivica Zubac, but they're definitely going to play Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum at the
Yeah.
center. They're going to play weird lineups with no one over 6'8", because I don't think they have a second player on the roster who's over 6'8". It's definitely going to be in the rotation at least. Yeah, I mean, if Moses Brown is gonna make the roster or not, I don't know, and I don't think it's going to really matter either way.
Well, I mean, this is out of any team in the league, other than maybe the Warriors, this is the other team that just loves to go small and will consistently do it every single game. And it's kind of their bread and butter in the playoffs too. Zubac will see some playoff minutes and some matchups, but yeah, they just love to put Nick Batum at the 5 and, put 4 guys who are 6'8" and can switch every screen on the floor at the same time.
Yeah.
Who can all space, who are all willing, passers in the sense that they ping the ball around the perimeter until they find someone who's open and then he pulls it, and it's such a high floor offensively. Even outside of Kawhi's health, like this is going to be a good team, provided at one of Paul George or Kawhi is healthy. Like they're going to be a top 6 seed, and if they're both healthy and both playing well, like they're a contender.
Yeah, it would just be great to get one nice healthy Clippers run. Just like I'm not rooting for the Clippers, but like it would be nice to just get to see that, just from a basketball perspective, I would like to see this team go through a playoff run and get to play their preferred style of basketball with their preferred healthy roster. And I think it would be nice. I still feel so deprived of like the Battle of LA, back when, because LeBron was still kind of in his prime. And like, I wanted to see LeBron versus Kawhi and Paul George, Anthony Davis in there for just like back in 2020. And we got deprived. So I will settle for one healthy Clippers run during this Kawhi Leonard and Paul George era.
So it sounds like you answered my question already, which was just simply going to be, can they stay healthy? And if they are, are they the best team in the NBA? And it sounds like you're on board.
Yeah, I think so. I just think like the overall the depth combined with the high end star power and the proven sort of stylistic fit that does, like Tyler's coaching as he's really grown as a coach in the NBA. I still think they're theoretically the scariest player. My question for you is, who's the third best player on the Clippers?
I think the easy answer is probably Norman Powell, maybe Reggie Jackson, but I'm actually going to go with kind of an outside shot here at John Wall having a resurgence.
Okay.
I think that John Wall didn't play last year on the Rockets. More, in an agreement between him and the team to just not play and have the young guys try to develop playmaking ability. It's the optimistic way to put it, or AKA tank. But, I think there's still a lot of defensive basketball IQ with him, even if he doesn't quite have the same speed and explosion that he used to. And he's still just such a good playmaker. John Wall is one of the best 3-point shot creators for others that we've ever seen. And this is a team who can very easily put 4, average to above average shooters around him on the floor at all times. John Wall is just going to be able to attack the rim, somewhat, and whether or not he can finish as well as he used to, it doesn't even necessarily matter, because he's going to find so many guys for wide open threes and they can make them.
Yeah. If he can collapse the defense, then it's over. It's just a really question of whether he can still do that. That's like the linchpin guy. I don't think anything else matters. Like, I mean, I know he's going to still be capable in other areas of the game. It's just like, if he can get into the paint and help defenders to move in his general direction, then yeah, that's going to be a nightmare element to their defense. Oh, sorry, my cat likes to come and go from this room all the time. Yeah, I'm a big Nick Batum guy. He's starting to get older, so this information might be out of date. But I think like he's just, when it's mattered, he's been like the linchpin of that defense. I've watched him annihilate Karl Anthony Towns. I've watched him just like guard Boban Marjanovic and like not even he'll front him, or he'll not even front him and sneak out around and snatch the entry pass. I'm just like, he does insane things on defense and is one of those rare wings that can just sort of like, you can kind of anchor a defense. Like, you can be the best defensive player on like a championship level team, and you don't get enough credit for that, Nick Batum, but I see you.
Yeah. He's one of those players where when he wants to be, he can be an excellent defender. And unfortunately, as a fan of the team that employed Nick
Mm.
Batum for 7 or 8 seasons. That willingness to be an engaged defender wasn't always there.
No,
But
different guy back
certainly,
then.
certainly when he wanted to be, he was a really good switchable wing.